Well, video when I'm not driving. We're having a taco break. Speaking about driving, if you're old, you need to be careful about your license. I've got a friend in the village. He's 81, I didn't realise. And he worked right up until he's about 75. Fit as a fiddle, mentally anyway. And he complained to the doctor that he was getting a little bit more forgetful. Now, I don't know about you, but many people get forgetful as they get older. First thing this doctor did was recommend he resit his driving test. And this is where I think it's unfair. If you're learning to drive, your examiner will take you around the said test track that you're going to go on, the roads, etc. And into those areas, you're going to get as many complicated things that you get. Say, for instance, 2 mini roundabouts sat on each other, which is what actually failed him, funnily enough. And also, you're learning to do your lessons outside of your comfort zone, or you're doing your test, I should say, outside your comfort zone in an area you don't know, with no prior preparation. Now, I don't think there's many people out there that could pass their test if they were told to now on the spot go and take a test. You have to brush up on stuff, so it's massively unfair. Anyway, they failed him on this double mini roundabout for waiting too long. So he didn't go steaming across. He waited till because he said, I've not been across one of these, so he waited to see how it worked and then went at the right time. Now, this is a guy that used to be designated driver for all his mates. Now, he's I would consider him to be safe, but there does seem to be a plan, because after he told me this yesterday, and I was a little gobsmacked to say the least, and thought it was particularly unfair, I then had something come up in my feed. It comes up on my phone, Google, whether you want it or not, and it said that they're actually actively looking at giving people over 70 a test to see if they're still competent. Now, here's the other side of this. How many of these boat weary types, I have a ladybird in here. I think it's a ladybird. Off you go. Right, do what you want. And these people that come over, that really, a lot of them can't drive a greasy stick of a dog's hole, but a lot of these examiners are encouraged to pass them for reasons of diversity, to reasons of ticking boxes, for reasons of not looking racist, etc., etc. And then the other thing is, they've got many driving instructors now who are foreign, all right, or they speak a foreign language, and they have to sit in with these when they have their test and translate. Tell me how that's fucking fair. And we know that these people are fucking abysmal drivers, and they've also got the manners of an outrageous haddock. There's that thing still, but it's too much noise. These people literally they've brought over with them the same arrogance to driving and fuck everybody else as they had, or the people have back in their country. Now, road deaths in India, Africa, other parts of the Middle East, etc., etc., are horrendous. Britain's roads are some of the safest roads in the world, or were. Now, we've imported a lot of people from Poland and Romania and stuff like that, and their driving is somewhat different to ours. Aggressive, to say the least. Now, if you had the time, you could go and look up things like Polish car crashes, Russian car crashes, and you see these people, they just don't yield to each other. They don't want to give way one little bit, and they will literally drive at each other and at the last minute try to avoid it, at which time's too late. Now, that's the Eastern Europeans. What these other people are like, and then they'll blame you for it as well. So just be careful if you're going to the doctors what you tell them, because the doctor no longer is your friend in most cases. Some are, but a lot of them are on board with the thing. And there's a very real chance if you went there and complained about something, they'll just whip your license off you. So you have to be a little bit guarded about what you tell them. Now, I accept there are some old folk out there that really probably shouldn't be on the road anymore. They've either do get too flustered, or pretty much weren't very good drivers in the first place, and now old age has got the better of them, and their reaction times can be measured in sort of millennia. These people are dangerous. We had a few actually that used to drive trucks, and I watched this bloke hobble across the car park and think, how can he get his foot from the accelerator to the brake in time? But anyway, there it is. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think our roads are unsafe? Do you think the modern attitude towards other people, because anybody who's been driving, I realise I've been driving for years, 92 I think it was, I passed my test, and since then I've noticed that people's attitudes towards each other are to, in a lot of cases, fuck you is the attitude. I only care about me. And the other thing is, since people are protected in these modern day cars, which are 100% safer than what I used to drive. When I first started out, we had a Mark II 1.1 Escort that if it stopped, it didn't stop well. And then I had the old Capri, which would pull up harder on one side than the other. No ABS, no traction control. No traction, really. That's part of the fun of driving it. But these cars, they didn't really have crumple zones as such. They had the car that would crumple up and just keep going until it hit you. Nowadays, cars are built like a brick, and they're also very good at stopping. They're very good in a rollover. They've got side impact protection. They've got airbags galore. All this other stuff that makes people forget that it still hurts if you have an accident. If you decelerate at 30 miles an hour, like immediately, i.e. you've had an accident, that's going to hurt. Not to mention all your organs, which then go flying forward and hit the inside of your chest. That's the third accident, because accidents happen in three parts. I don't know if you know. The vehicle hits something, right? Then you have a collision, say for instance with part of the vehicle or the seatbelt, which then holds you back, okay? And then your organs go forward and then collide with the front of your chest. And that's where in a lot of cases a lot of serious damage is done. In the same way that if you get hit sideways, your brain can take being thrown forward a lot better than it can sideways, because all the connections, it does that, and that's how people are more likely to get killed, and also no crumple zone. I'm digressing a bit here, but you get the idea. But yeah, people are a lot less forgiving on the road. They're a lot less careful. They don't have a sense of fear. A lot of this also is the case of we remember coming off bikes getting hurt, falling out of trees getting hurt, all the other stuff that like kids did growing up, and we had a fair memory of pain, and we didn't fancy any pain. But because a lot of these people have been brought up in this protective cocoon where they've not actually enjoyed any serious pain, like broken bones and massive lacerations and bruised this, that and the other, and etc, etc, they think they're immortal, and they also think that they've got right. Now right, this is something I don't get. It's my right of way. Yes, but if you pull out in front of me and I can't stop, I will kill you. But it's my right of way. Right? And that's the self-preservation and common sense that we talk about a lot that's out the door. These people would rather win an argument and lose their life than lose a few minutes to gain a few more years. There it is. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. Hope you're enjoying the sun, etc, etc. I'm going to get on with what's left of my break. I'll see you in a bit.